So let's waste no time and hit number 1. And he's got a question for you.
Hey, good afternoon, Larry. Russ from Orlando. When your shop does a drain and fill on a transmission, what percentage of the transmission fluid is being extracted from that transmission? And how does that new transmission fluid act with the old? Could you explain to me? Thank you for your time. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, that's a good question. We've dealt with this for a long time. There is, if you've got a vehicle that's got a lot of miles on it and it's never had a pan drop done on it, it's probably a good idea to do it. Or if it's 20 years old, nobody knows when the thing was serviced last. But if you got a newer vehicle and you've got, around 60,000 mile on it, a drain and fill is probably about all you really need. See, what happens is when you drain the fluid, what's in the pan and throughout the transmission, you're still going to have some in the torque converter, of course. But when you put the new, in our case, we use the Amsoil fluid. We put it in, and if it's in a truck or whatever, it just refortifies what's already in there and gives it, higher temperature protection, especially when towing. To go and, start the vehicle up, try to suck everything that's in it possible out and put all new fluid in it, to flush everything that's in the tranny out and try to get all new fluid in there, you waste so much fluid. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do, but if the system holds 13 or 14 quarts, it's probably going to take over 20 to flush everything in the unit out. And if you've got pretty clean fluid already and you're maintaining it, say you're doing a first service at 60,000 mile, and you drain what's in there out, get all that out, and then top it off with like Amsoil transmission fluid, you've really got a pretty serious fluid in there to start with. In towing tests, Amsoil did the same thing. They had this was years ago. They had a 7.3 diesel Power Stroke, or a 7.3 diesel in one of their older Ford F-350s, and they had a big old huge lowboy on the back of it with a Caterpillar bulldozer, and they were putting this thing through the paces, and they were measuring transmission fluid temperatures with the OE fluid in the vehicle, and then they measured the transmission fluid temperatures with just 1 gallon of Amsoil fluid added to their factory transmission fluid, just to see what the differences would be. Just by having that 1 gallon of Amsoil fluid, synthetic fluid, in that great big huge, I think probably close to 20 quart system, it dropped transmission fluid temperatures during their testing 75 degrees. And that's amazing that 1 gallon of fluid in a system that big is amazing. So in a lot of cases, just doing a drain and fill is perfectly fine. We have no issues with that whatsoever. But if the vehicle's got considerable miles on it, or if it is getting up in age, a pan drop doesn't hurt, and go ahead and put a new filter in it as well. I hope that helps.